This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. I have and I will continue to cover the October 4th FEMA emergency text message, what it means, what's going to happen, and how we are not supposed to react to this the way that they want us to react to it, where they want us to think a zombie apocalypse is going to occur. People are going to all drop dead on the spot, like in the movie The Happening. Now, I'll do a video with the predictive programming the day before October 4th, so October 3rd, I guess naturally, right? But on October 3rd, so that people can see some of the predictive programming and again, warn people. Because all the idiots are waiting. They're like live streaming. Somebody was telling me during this, a lot of idiots out there, zombies. They're like, I'm going to step right by my phone and watch me turn into a zombie, all this stuff, because they just don't know how to listen. They don't get it. It's inside of your body. It's being activated. You are not going to foam at the mouth. But what is going to happen is you're going to get very sick over the next couple of years, possibly months, because whatever's mutating inside of you is going to be activated to mutate. Now, some of you don't believe that this is happening on October 4th, and that's perfectly fine if you don't believe that. I'm telling you that I believe that it is. I believe that they've been waiting for a trigger date ever since they announced this mass text. I have had it in the front of my mind that that is exactly what's happening here. All the paranoia has gone away about the dangers and this and that of the outbreak, et cetera, et cetera. It's a perfect time to do it. The news is pretty quiet. And of course, they'll come out on the 5th and they'll say, look, all these conspiracy theorists are wrong because, again, they don't answer and address anything that's actually real. They don't address what people actually say. Okay? One of the reasons that I'm silent so much is because I make sense of this stuff. I'm not trying to get people out there to be paranoid and do all this or do all that. Obviously, I know the people who do listen to this channel are not potioned. Okay, I know you haven't taken the magic potion. However, I've talked about graphene oxide from the sky. I've talked about graphene oxide, other ways they can get into your body. And I've obviously said, hey, why don't you be smart about it? Stay away from your phone on that day. Okay, I get it. Putting it in a Faraday bag, putting it into a microwave, those are ways to prevent anything from happening. But again, if you shut your phone off, when you turn it back on, you're still going to get a text message. So look, some people don't want to believe it. They don't have to believe it. But it's unbelievable the way they deflect on this stuff. And it's unbelievable to me they're bringing it up in the mainstream. So I'll have a video with more detail, but I want to show you this. This is the point of the video. The Fox News in Houston, okay, an affiliate news channel, is covering this, calling it Debunking the FEMA Blackout Conspiracy. Now, listen to how they debunk. This is the state of mind of our current society. Debunking means that you just shush it away. You just go, yeah, that's not possible. Oh, they can't do that, right? And listen to a politician in Houston when asked the question about, hey, is there some way they could control frequencies into your mind and mind control, anything like that? And it gets laughed off, right? And of course, he uses humor to say, oh, you could trust the government. The government would never hurt you, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it couldn't be more clear at this point in time. You could never distrust the government more. These people are not just are they not serving you and working for you. They're psychopaths. They're literally psychopaths who want to castrate 5-year-old kids. So the stuff that they're pushing should have them all arrested. We should all be arresting them on the spot. Now, we know they control the military, et cetera. And we know they have a wall of people protecting them called Democrats, completely hive-minded zombies. So listen to this and just explain to me. I mean, first of all, it's amazing they're bringing this up on the news. It's amazing they're even bringing attention to it. And it just gives more credibility to all of us. Because whenever they bring attention to this stuff, they're deflecting. They are deflecting. I believe it's a weakness of the elites and the CIA to bring attention to it and deflect. To them, it means more to them to have the deflecting story out there to drown out all of us and our voices than to just ignore it. To me, I would look at it and say, if them ignoring it is the smarter thing to do, but they feel the need to constantly deflect whenever the truth comes out. Like I showed everyone, if you are on the website, uprisingrevival.com, I put a video up. They made me take a quiz, a test, a training course, which of course it's not real, but it's just a way to indoctrinate the people out there of YouTube channels about what you can and cannot say about the 1-9er, about the outbreak, okay? And one of the questions was about 5G. It's that unbelievable how out in our faces this is. So if that was a crazy coup and we're all just stupid idiots, tinfoil hat wearers, why in the world do you keep bringing attention to it? Why are you so obsessed with it? Why are you so obsessed with science people? Oh, we're causing a danger to society. No, you know the people will wake up and you'll all be arrested for your crimes. So anyway, this video probably will get a strike even for talking like that. The tone of my voice, I think, sometimes gets me a strike. But anyway, this is them claiming to debunk the FEMA blackout conspiracy. And the best way they can debunk it is by laughing at it, because that's all they can do now, and then trying to make us believe that that type of technology doesn't exist. Oh, okay, so in the 90s, you were able to clone humans. You have the president of the United States come out and say that we can clone babies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's 30 plus years ago. You want us to believe that you don't have the technology to do this, yet you even admit that you can get chips so microscopic inside of people's bodies. What would the purpose of that be? Huh? Oh, okay, right. So here's this fraudulent thing they put on the news in Houston. I'm sure other affiliate stations had it on, but I picked this one to use. Take a look at this.
Come back. We continue to explore those conspiracy theories floating around. One of them involves FEMA's nationwide emergency alert test. Now, it's scheduled for all cell phones. That's you and I for the first time next Wednesday. Some who are nervous about the alert reached out to the Factor team and asked if this is a way to use phones to control our minds or harm us, as some online theories suggest. Joining us to discuss this is University of Houston professor downtown, Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. So first of all, is there actually a test in October by FEMA?
There is actually going to be a two-part test, as you mentioned. We've been doing this since the 1960s, the emergency alert system, and now they're going to extend it to include wireless networks so that we can ensure that people are receiving these notifications with our new GIS technology and other resources. We know we want to make sure that people that are not English as a first language speakers, that people who may rely now solely on cell phones, not just on landlines, are also receiving these signals. This is just a nationwide test to ensure the efficacy of our emergency alert system.
But you have people saying otherwise out there. And what would life be like without the conspiracy theorists who are saying, especially with the cell phone factor, where we receive the alert, there will be a special signal that could do us harm. What have you been able to find out? What are they saying, first of all? And obviously, you know, many people don't put weight into it, but so many people wrote me about it. I said, let's talk about it.
Well, the reality is we can ask the indigenous peoples about trusting the government. We're here from the government. We're here to help you.
Oh, well, you just won the conspiracy theorist case.
Right. C.M. Kornbluth will tell you, if you go back to the book, The Marching Morons, back in the day about some corrupt real estate mogul convincing an entire voting bloc. I'm not drawing any analogies to current politicians, but that person convincing people that they're going to be saved and then in reality sending them off to their doom. This is a recurring theme in the U.S. government and governments throughout history. So conspiracy theorists have a place, right? Don't go entirely digital on your currency. I agree. But in this case, the idea that graphene oxidization and other signals are going to activate some sort of COVID planted attribute within your system, it's just not scientifically probable or possible as far as the science that we know. We know the science changes, right? So the conspiracy theorists have a place. When we talk about the health benefits of spinach or other things that we've sort of gone back and forth on throughout time, where the government experts have told us one thing and then had to retract that later on. But the actual aspects of this test since the 1960s, if there was some harm that was going to be perpetrated through this, it would have already happened. So they've had longer than you and I have been alive to make this happen. They wouldn't have waited this long to perpetrate some sort of mass fraud on the American people in that sense. The only danger that I can see with this mass test is if there were an actual attack or some disruption to the U.S. infrastructure on October 4th, people would think it was a test. So that actually is a danger. But as far as these theories that the COVID vaccine is now going to be activated by some wireless signal, I mean, you still have to fill out paper tax reports, right? The government isn't that sophisticated. If they were that smart, they would have figured this out already.
No, when you say this would have happened, you know, when we first started doing this in the 60s, but they're specifically pointing to the cell phone component now, right?
Absolutely. And there are going to be people who say this new.
And that's new for the viewers. That's new. That's a new component.
That is a new component, but only in the sense of how our psychology responds. And anybody who's in a dating relationship laments the day that Instagram allowed people to sort of propagate themselves as experts in relationship advice, and you've got, you know, I'm not going to pick on Dr. Angela with her fancy doctorate degrees, but the idea that you've got somebody with a doctoral degree who's now competing with a 22-year-old who went on one date in 2022 that didn't go well and is now offering the same caliber and receipt of relationship advice as that expert that you have on the show. That's one of the challenges we run into now with the technology. So the only challenge now with the cell phones is people have a new medium to claim the transferal processes or properties, and that's just not going to impact the idea of the science. Otherwise, Putin would have been doing that instead of putting polonium in the tea, right? This is not something that we can do.
So that's debunking in the year 2023, right? Laughing about it, kind of just saying, oh, come on, they're not smart enough. The government's not smart. Oh, they're not smart enough, right? I mean, people can watch football on their phones, on the toilet. The things people could do with their technology, you could track people's whereabouts with technology. You could track people's breaths with technology that they have on people's arms. You could track how many steps you take, how many calories you burn. Yeah, no, it's out of the realm of possibility to think that they could hook up Bluetooth to any type of tower and then activate something. That's out of the realm of possibility. Huh? Is it? Pretty sure you could get Bluetooth on a plane. I mean, you could get on Wi-Fi on an airplane, right? So what is the hard part for people to actually grasp? Being able to get inside of people's bodies? Why is that hard to grasp? Do you just realize what happened, how badly and how desperate they were to get it inside of people's bodies, that so many people were so scared that they went and got it? Right? So they figured out how to get it inside of people's bodies. So that part you could check off the list. So the hard part is to try to figure out having technology in you that'll stay in you that could connect to a 5G tower. Why is that hard to figure out? It seems actually really, really easy to do. And we've seen predictive programming a million times showing us. Remember, I'll just throw this one in here. Remember the Flash Armstrong one?
The Smart Mark. Because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. Distribution points are all over the city.
The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
It's absolutely free.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark.
Let's put our new recruits to work.
You call yourself a man of science. World order is our destiny over chaos.
But your chip makes it possible to control everyone in Charter City.
Yeah, that was nothing to be suspicious about there with Flash and the Smart Mark, right? Inside of people's bodies and be able to connect you. And I'll do a video with like The Kingsman and other stuff so people can see. The Happening is another movie from M. Night Shyamalan, however you say his name, which is a horrible movie. It's kind of just comical, really, but most of his movies are. But, they use predictive programming in that too, using the air, right? In that movie, there was a wind that caused people to off themselves, et cetera, in the movie. Of course, what do you think the wind was referencing? It was referencing the frequencies from the 5G towers. That's what it was referencing. What do you think it was referencing? Oh, I got this plot. Oh, yeah, what is it? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking about having a bald eagle fart. And then all the wind was going to blow his fart and everyone was going to hang themselves. Oh, okay, right? Keep in mind all the other stuff that are trigger points they talk about on a day in, day out basis. Mental health, all these things with the 5G tower. So all of this stuff is very, very true. And they want to make it a laughingstock. And we live in a society now where the people who are hive-minded think all this stuff's a joke. And honestly, I'm at the point where I don't really care at all what happens to them. I feel for their kids. Most of these people have kids. But, the young teens are obnoxious. They're smart Alex. There's some on this channel who are good young kids who are, I think they're teens. They say they're in school and they listen. And, I'm happy for that. I hope I can help them wake up because their generation is doomed and they're going to be needed in this war. And this is just the beginning. I know people think that this is ending tomorrow with the trumpet sounding, but we've got a lot to endure still. There's a lot of stuff still to be fulfilled. So we need people who are mentally aware, mentally prepared, and understand how these people are going to use these types of things to try to make us look like fools. Right? And then, of course, a lot of people still who listen to my channel, they don't listen to what I say. They'll comment, they'll be like, you said that something was going to happen on the 4th. Nothing happened. Oh, another false prediction. I mean, like, what? First of all, I warn about, September 23rd all the time because it's a date we see repetition with. I've said it over and over again about the 4th. People are not going to be dropping dead in the streets on the 4th, but something is going to be activated inside of them. There's going to, silent wars is what they always reference this stuff as, okay? There's something inside of you that no one's going to be able to blame. You can't point a finger. You're just going to be diagnosed with, cancer or something else is going to be activated inside of you. Your body, your immune system is shot. It's going to be shot. And this is really, I believe this is the death blow, so to speak. So Again, well, obviously I'll have another video about this. I wanted to cover these frauds on TV and bringing it up. And then people go, oh, they're doing it for clicks and views. So people watch their news show. Oh, is that why? Well, this clip is from 5 days ago. And this is Fox 26 in Houston. This is on local news. But I mean, you have an audience, millions of people are in the area, right? So a pretty large amount of people. And they have 1.5 thousand views. And it's been up for 5 days. Okay, so they're not doing it for clicks. Just like I'm not doing it for clicks. I mean, I get more views than Fox Houston, for crying out loud. They're bringing it up. They're deflecting. They're using affiliate stations to do it instead of a national level, which is interesting to me. But clearly they want these types of stories out there so that they drown out the truth. So stories like this will be out there. People will hear this. They'll be like, wait a minute, that's kind of suspicious. And the other ones that'll get recommended are people who are saying the world's ending on the 4th, that people are going to be foaming at the mouth on the 4th, when in reality, this stuff is all internal. It's a time bomb that's being set off inside of people's bodies. That's what the activation is. The activation begins the destruction of the insides of these people's bodies. Look into things like IgG4. I cover that over on the website. Okay? What's going to occur to people's bodies now after over and over again putting stuff in them is frightening. But they've done it to themselves. God gave them free will, and they went and did it with free will. Mind control is something, you can blame other people for it, but there's people like me who are trying to break you away from it. A lot of people are too narcissistic to break free from it. So, you got to, another thing too with the graphene oxide. I mean, I've said it a million times. They spray it from the skies. I mean, videos I've done where there's black rain, goo showing up on people's cars, graphene oxide. They put it in the chemtrails. Okay? So it doesn't mean that people like me and you are immune to this, that we can't get sick or something could happen to us. So, I would just be very, very careful. That's the best thing you do. Will it hurt you to take the day off from technology? Probably benefit everyone if they turn their technology off. Now, again, I don't know. Some people said you can leave your phone on, wrap it in tinfoil. The alert will come. It'll protect you from the waves, that type of a thing. And I believe that. Other people are putting in Faraday bags. Other people are shutting them off. Obviously, if you shut off, you're going to have to turn it on. You're still going to get the text. So I would do something along those lines of just getting it into place, being away from it. How about that? If you're out there and you're like, I don't know what to do. All right, well, put all the crap outside in your mailbox and then go in your basement for an hour. Is that too much to ask? Or, I would do the whole day personally, because I don't trust even when they say it's getting sent. They could easily send it at 4 o'clock and be like, oops, we had a glitch. Sorry about that. Because nobody's going to remember it's supposed to come at 2:20. Who knows, right? Who knows? All I know is that it's better to be safe than sorry. And, to stay off the technology for a day would be a blessing for everyone anyway, for their mental health. Go outside, go to a park. Now, not during this hour window, probably, because other people will be walking around with their phones. That's something you got to keep in mind, right? People are like, I'm just going to go out and just not think about it. Well, you might go to the beach or the boardwalk or something, or I don't know, where would you go now? But there's be people walking around you zombies on their phones. So it's about the frequency of the phone. Right? As you certainly don't want it on you or in your body, but you'd be walking by somebody who's about half a foot away who could be holding it in their hand. So I would just lay low, go out in the woods by yourself, go for a hike. Don't bring any technology. Of course, bring something to protect yourself in case some psychopath is out there, obviously. Because God forbid something happened to somebody if I say go take a hike and something happens. So please, protect yourself at all times. Anyway, I'm going on with this rant. This video is called Debunking the FEMA Blackout Conspiracy. Nothing was debunked. Right? They just laughed it off and said, we're not smart enough to do that. The government's not smart enough to do that. And they don't have the technology to do it. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. You're sick enough to do it. You do have the technology to do it. And you can do it. And we all believe you will do it. I thank everyone for being here on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.